So this has been my camera bag on my latest trip. This is the Brevite. I'm so sorry for hacking up the name. So this is my new camera bag that I've just been playing around with, and I'm gonna talk about what I put in it on my new trip, as well as talking about why this is a handy frickin' bag for your travels. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is what's in my camera bag right now. This is from a trip that I went on to New York. This is not all of my gear. This is just what I like to travel with and how I like to pack it. So here's what I got. I shoot on my Sony a7 III. This is clearly not it. This is just a prop camera. If you guys are interested in the a7 III, there's a link to it in the description below. But that'll be obviously one spot in my bag that I normally fill. So I'll pop it in this little spot here. Then the next thing that I like to carry within my camera bag is a telephoto lens. If you guys are traveling and doing a lot of like event videography, I would highly recommend having a telephoto. They're expensive, but they make really great stuff, and you're not getting in people's faces when you're shooting with it. Here's my second lens that I like to carry around. This is the 18-105 Sony G Master lens. This is a little bit lower end, cheaper, but multifunctional. If you only have one lens to buy, I would recommend getting this one because it does a little bit of everything. There's a link to that as well in the description below. So I'll pack that, and then the lens that I'm currently shooting with this, but we'll just say that that's this lens down here, is the 18-35 Sigma Art Series lens. It is, I just love it. I love the focal length. It goes to like a 1.8. So that's what goes into here. And then that's basically it for cameras and lenses and stuff. I mean, usually I only travel with 3 primary lenses. That way my bag's not getting too filled with gear. Now the next thing that I like to fill my bag up with is this little additional pocket right here. Now what I like to put in this one is additional batteries. So we've got just the a7 III batteries. a7 III battery life is pretty dynamite. So I don't have to worry about too much about getting too many extra batteries, but having 3 spares is pretty wise. Next thing is my SD cards. I carry around 264 gigs. Again, the other one's being used for this shot here. I carry around a 1 gigabyte card for my H4n, and then I carry around just a couple 32 gigs. Always, you can never have too many SD cards. So I put it in that little pouch there. Next key item is my Rode VideoMic Pro. This thing is dynamite. I love it so much. Again, I won't go too much about the gear and all that stuff. There'll be a link to this in the description below. If you can afford this one over the other Rode models, I really recommend it. There's just a bunch of little tiny details that make this way better. One of them being it has the automatic turn on as soon as you boost up your camera or boot up your camera. This goes on immediately. Big time saver. When it comes to traveling, I usually bring around 2 external hard drives, depending on how many projects I'm working on. With this bag, there's like a nice little flap here, and then the cords and cables for those go into this section. I just put them in this little flap. The biggest handy dandy thing I would recommend every videographer have if you're shooting anywhere that's exterior is an ND filter. So I'll keep it in this additional little extra ND filter flapperoonie. This isn't one that I travel with all the time, but this is my Zoom H4n. I love it a lot. I would recommend if you have room in your camera bag, bring it if you know you're gonna be recording audio. If you don't have one of these, 150,000% buy one. Best purchase I've ever made. I'm currently recording on it. You don't really need lavaliers, but you definitely need an H4n. So I'll pack this in my bag as well. So once this thing's like all packed up, the next area, and then there's like this little extra area here for adding things. So what I'll bring, if you're a blogger, vlogger, and any sort of videographer, definitely have a Gorilla Pod. These, I love mine. I shoot with it all the time. I'm obsessed with it. So I carry that around in this little upper pouch here. And then finally, there's actually a flap in this bag for your laptop. So I'll just put it in there and then I'll roll this down. And the great thing about this is, as well, is I'll actually even carry a separate bag that has my clothes in it. That way, if I'm on a shoot, I gotta get going, I gotta get stuff going right away, I can just take that second bag out, boom, clothes are out, and now I've just got my camera gear in here. And with that, there's like this little amazing thing. You're like, Zach, you know what? I don't like this bag for all of my camera gear. I don't want just to be for my camera gear. Well, I'm gonna blow you away right here. You can open this pouch up and boom, take it out like it's a lunch bag. And now this can just exit and you have just a bag, just a big roll top bag now. That's it, guys. That's what I brought on my trip to New York. Now, I'll have a couple extra little things, like I have my drone that I bring around. This is like the Mavic Air. If I do any like longer trips, bigger trips, I'll bring a drone. But the thing is with drones is you don't know where you're allowed to fly them. I know in New York City, it's a big hassle to fly your drone. So I didn't bring this on my last trip, but it is something like a go-to piece of gear that I have pretty much on every single trip. Biggest thing is it's just your camera, your audio recording devices, and your go-to, let's say, you know, if you can get two lenses, you know, the 18-105 is dynamite, and the 7200 is also really incredible piece of glass. And I'll have a full lens video in the description below. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to take a look at some more and see all of the other fun stuff that I have cooked up on my YouTube page, you guys can check that out in the description below. Other than that, that's it.